Welcome to She Lives, where magic and mystery become the blueprint and path to creating a new reality, deeply rooted in the essence of your soul. Join me as we hear, feel, and see through lenses and senses of intuitive wisdom and soul-based leadership. This is the She Lives podcast. Episode 7, Your Divine Flow and Water Wisdom. Hello, my name is Hazel Evans and this is the She Lives podcast. Today I talk about divine flow, offering you an insight into how I experience it and invite you to join me in the flow. How to unplug, undam, unlock, uncensor yourself. Allow your true self to flow so that you can live the sacred soul purpose of your own unique life journey. Become the sacred stream of consciousness of your innate intelligence to flow through you. Become a clear vessel so this flows through you like a river. Wild, undammed, and forever flowing abundance of your soul's genius and ability to create life from the sacred waters of your own self source. I invite you to jump into the sacred stream of consciousness that not only brings you home to remember the truth of who you are, but also guides you in incredible ways. The flow of the river, inside, outside, and beyond. To move you into the flow of your own inspiration, guidance, and call to create with this power of divine flow. In this episode, I'm going to share with you the river story. That's number 7 from my album, The Monochronium Prophecy. And this is really about divine flow of inspiration and how to feel that on the inside when we witness things on the outside and then bring them inside again and then bring them into expression by giving them out into the outside world with what you create. I'm also going to tell my story of the Oracle, this 13-year epic journey that I have been on to create an Oracle, and my relationship with the great Oracle Spirit, which is a sacred vessel, a kind of chalice and mirror to the soul. For the Oracle is a pool, a source, a place where the divine intelligence flows from. So I will share my journey in making the Soul Prophecy Oracle and invite you to be inspired by your own life story, to uncover your own divine flow of intelligence that has guided you throughout your life, whether you know it or not. It is always there. And I would also like to invite you to join me to take this all further and discover what your next steps of your evolutionary path are to greatness in your divine flow. I offer you in this episode a deep dive into the flow of your own surges and expressions of creation, your own movement, life force, sexual, creative energy. To work with water as a mirror to your soul. Every time you visit the sea, every time you go to a waterfall, or visit a stream or a river, sit in contemplation and ask, how can you be, feel, and let flow more of you and your soul through you? And how is the water being a mirror to the soul, in feeling that flow enter into the body. Because if we are truly 70% water, my curiosity leads me to discover more deeply how to observe and commune with water and the consciousness of water inside and out in our sacred landscapes of our bodies. And often when I go to visit these places where there is beautiful waters, I always contemplate in a different way. Like, a waterfall is different from being by the sea. You know, the sea has a very big pull, the ocean has a very big pull and force of ebb and flow. A waterfall has a powerful energy of surging off the top of a cliff or rocks and plunging into the rocks and the flow of the river below. Gentle streams have a different gentle energy. Last summer I went into some beautiful crystal clear waterfalls and rivers, and swimming with the rocks and the pebbles through the crystal waters is just sublime. So this in itself creates this unification, let's say, of purity within the body, as the 70% water body vessel becomes one with the water. I also remember when I first, like about 15 years ago, started this journey of unification with the water, and let's say I remember going swimming in the sea when it was really flat on the south coast of England early in the morning when there was nobody there, and the beautiful sun shining and the stillness of the water, the clear waters. And I remember thinking, well, if I am like this much water, can I imagine becoming the water, becoming the ocean? And I entered into a beautiful meditation, let's say, like a conscious meditation, floating in the water, where it's almost felt like my body disappeared and I became one with the water. And then I could feel this expanse of energy where there was no more limitation of the skin as a shell on my vessel, but became one. And a greater sense of consciousness, expansion started to happen in that very moment. I often like to go into what I call movement meditation. It's a different way of creating and communing with the expanded consciousness energies. So that's beautiful just to share that with you right now. So also the water is, when it's still, you can look into it and it becomes a mirror. And when I do my work with the chalice, the sacred chalice, part of it is like scrying or envisaging or seeing oneself through the mirror, through the water and into the soul. And like I said, we can see ourselves through the water in the rivers, in the lakes, in the oceans. And whether the water is still and we dive deep into reflective work, looking ourselves in the eyes through this mirror pool, or whether we can feel ourselves in this and our emotions and the intelligence of our emotions through the motion of moving water. Allow yourself to feel it all, to flow into the embodiment of your higher self. So I said a little bit about scrying, envisaging and foretelling through the reflection of the water. And it's another oracling way, another oracling tool that opens up the divine flow as a sacred guidance. So this is part of why I'm sharing my story of the oracle, because the oracle is in fact a chalice for this divine flow to happen. And through that divine flow, divine creation happens. And through that divine creation, your soul is telling you the story of your life as a sacred vessel. Like, how does it get any better than that? To be in this movement of consciousness inside and out. You know, this is what I'm talking about. This is what I share. These are the initiations that I share with women who are courageous enough to take themselves to the next level. This is the depths in which we work. So this has been part of my life journey, to investigate to these core depths. You know, we can do this profound work, healing work on ourselves, and then what if we take it to the next step where you become that sacred vessel of creation, and to art and live the excavation of truth that is in you, in that sacred pool right at the bottom of where that water is falling in these waterfalls. You know, like, wow. Have you ever been to an amazing waterfall that has just taken you in awe, and you're like, I just need to get my clothes off right now, and I need to rebirth myself through the waterfall, get in there. So yeah, it's powerful to do that, isn't it? So opening up to the divine flow within, and this becoming your own sacred guidance, for you are the greatest guide you will ever need. So this way of working, opening up, becoming the chalice, becoming that place where this consciousness can flow, this is the kind of divine flow I'm talking about. The divine flow of conscious awareness that can now thrive. And now, as I share with you this journey, this is a deepening and unpacking of the wisdom, and sharing bits of how I have done it, and some of the art and creations that have come through me in my life, that have been the most profound guidance, guiding the way, guiding this flow. So, you know, if I can do it, if I can do it, you can do it. We can all do it, you know. It's like, I always say, like, I haven't been through 2 narcissistic abusive marriages, let alone all of the bullying and all of, like, whatever inner child work I've had to do, right? It's like, I haven't been through all of that to just, like, be silent and not share this with you now. So let's get in there, and really delighted to share this whole piece of music with you right now, this beautiful piece. I'll tell you a bit more about it afterwards. It's called The River Story. Once, a dark night, I watched the river glisten. Under the moonlight, she asked me to listen. Infuse your fingertips into the waters clear. I have a story to tell you. Please come near. I leant in closer, and the water enveloped my skin. And in an instant, I could hear the story told within. Unraveling, trickling, streaming through the land. The story of the river took me in hand. The journey of the juice began to run its course, and the stories unfolded inside this flowing force. Remember on your journey not to row upstream, as fighting my deluge won't find your dream. I'll keep you and your gifts safe afloat as we go, but always remember to keep following your flow. When I wrote this piece of music, it first began as a poem, and I remember when I wrote it in early morning when I was really deep in the creative process of the residency where I was at in the largest arts centre outside of London, and working to create an exhibition there called the Monochronium. And the Monochronium Prophecy album was part of that exhibition. And this is what I've said this before. Go back and listen to the other podcasts. This is why I'm sharing the deep inner wisdom of this work now, because I am on the brink of moving into a different, a new phase of creation, let's say, and this work needs to be honoured. So it's really amazing to share it with you. Sometimes, we can't share our gifts that come out of us immediately because they're so profound that we actually need to take the journey of that piece of art that we have made or created, whether it be singing, dancing, drawing, whatever, I've always, like, when something's been birthed through me, it's always like a signpost saying, okay, this is the potential of the journey of embodiment you can take. Are you going to take it? And I really tell you that pretty much every piece of art I have made, or everything I've written, has then become an embodiment journey. So I'm definitely a pure artist and not a commercial artist. I'm really living the way of art. It's kind of like it's got me by the hand going, come on, we're going this way. And it's like, whoa. Not only does it help my little inner child cross the road, but it also takes me on these wild journeys, up the mountains, through the rivers, into the waterfalls, cross terrains in different countries. It's like, whoa. This is where my art's taking me. So I kind of digress a little bit, but that's how powerful this work is, that when you're channeling this work and when you're channeling your genius, if you choose to go the next step, it shows you where to go and how to do it. So I remember the moment that I wrote this in the morning, and the sun was coming in the window, and I was really aware that I had to make a body of work for this exhibition, and I just allowed things to move through me. It's like, okay, and I wasn't even that aware. This was over 10 years ago. I wasn't as aware as I am now, but I allowed that channeling to come through. So this came through as a poetry piece, and then it became a song, spoken word piece in a musical landscape, and woven with the fabulous musician Timo Peach from Momo Tempo, created this piece called The River Story. And it has really stayed with me because I've really lived this journey inside and out for ever since I made it in 2012. And it really is about listening more deeply into your inner intelligence. That's really what this is about. It's about watching the glistening. I don't know, have you ever actually watched the glistening? Just focused your eyes on the glistening of the water on a calm sea day, and it looks like there's thousands of stars on the ocean. It's incredible. And the more you stare at the glistening, the more it only becomes stars. I invite you to do this next summertime. The next time the sun is on the water, it just becomes stars, and then the stars become alive, and then it's like the stars become part of the stars and the universe that are inside. You can't help it. It's just something happens and the inspiration gets ignited, and that's it. In awe of what you are watching and witnessing. So this is what this is about, is feeling the water, watching it, watching the glistening, watching the moon. I mentioned the moon in the river story. This moon is about the consciousness that moves the flow of the water. that creates the flow and the tides. So watching that. And for women, this is about following your flow, the menstrual flow, and not just tracking your cycle. If you come and work with me, I'll be like, right, let's take this to a whole new level, women. And this is really not just tracking your cycle. This is really aligning so deeply that you go beyond working with the moon, but connecting with the sun and the stars consciousness through your womb. And then your menstrual cycle, your menstrual flow then becomes, again, another creative flow that guides you. So, it's very powerful. I'll probably have to do another podcast on that because I don't want to get into talking about that at the moment. It's a really big subject. So let's stay on target. Creative flow. Keep on in the flow. So the river story is about following that flow, that vision, the feelings, the intuition, all that is leading you to your genius expression of your soul and who you are, your purpose, what you are and how you are being, how you are living, and your soul purpose, the deliverance of your soul purpose in this lifetime. Relaxing into you and your unique gifts so that they can be shared authentically. Now, whether you're sharing them with friends, loved ones, or going beyond and giving your magic and your light into the world, it doesn't matter. But what matters is that you are you and you are flowing in the divine flow of you and your soul. So whenever you don't follow the flow of your soul journey, you come into difficulties, let's say. And this is why in the river story I mentioned, to keep following your flow. Because it's like, if you try to fight against the flow, there will come a time when you get tired. It's like maintaining a false persona of how you think you should be in front of friends, family, for your job, whatever. And then all of a sudden, you become split. Like, I behave like this with my children, I behave like this with my partner, I behave like this at work. And all of that is like trying to wade back upstream. You're wading against the flow of who you truly are. Because when you're in flow, like all of those parts of you just start flowing together. And then you are just you, and you can show up authentically just as you. And this is what this is about. So do not fight the flow of your soul journey. I mean, you can do it, right? And well, the way that we're brought up in society actually, tries to deviate us from our soul journey. And that's why we have so many problems, like, whatever problems it is. That's why I fell into two narcissistic abusive marriages, for goodness sake. Like, wow, that was like so off the flow. But in a way, it was like I had to learn those lessons because I was so off the flow. That was like, sure, invite another abusive man into my life. Why not? Because evidently I need to find a way to learn those lessons so that I can get into my soul journey. And this is one of the things I'm so passionate about, is that when we start course correcting from deep inside, the outer world has to change, because the soul journey and the force and the flow of the soul journey is guiding you, and there is nothing that can stop you. And that means that, it can piss some people off, actually. I realized that because in my last marriage, I realized that the force of change was moving within me. And that's what sparked like the, part of the difficulties to come out, because, well, they were coming out to be seen, essentially. And what was calling me from inside was so much greater than what I was currently living, that I had to make radical changes. And my outer life was reflecting like all the bad decisions that I had made, and my soul was emerging from the inside going, we've got this, we're going to do it. Like, there's destruction happening, but don't worry, we're now in the flow, we are going to do this. So that's kind of like, you know, how it happened. I shall have to do a really deep podcast on that at some point, because it's incredible what happened actually. So yeah, getting back into the flow state. And it's not just about, you know, unicorns and fairies and like, wow, I'm feeling really great today. It's really about living in unification with the flow of your divine flow that leads you into your inner world and out into the creating your outer world, so that there's no difference between the inner and outer world. And this is the magic of the flow of you. And when you do this, you flow and find your gifts on your journey. And this is why the creative practice is so profound, because your art tells you the way. Well, at least this is what I've experienced. So, you know, I can only share my own journey, and there we go. So keep listening to that flow within you. What makes you inspired? What keeps you listening to those glistening sparkles that are on the top of the water, inviting you into the depths of your consciousness? So consciousness of spirit, consciousness of the universe. They say as above, so below. They say, you know, the water reflects the consciousness of the universe. I mean, I'm a Pisces, so it's sometimes I feel like, whoa, I can feel here and sense everything, like all of the water and all of the universe. And I'm like, oh my gosh, it was just me in a body. Okay, great. Let's get on and do something. So this vessel, your body, is actually where you can channel your gifts. And it's like your gifts are safe until you're ready to use them, your golden gifts. And this is why reading the flow of your life shows you where your golden gifts are, and shows you also how to keep in that flow so that you can access them. You may have come across Veda Austin, and she speaks to water, shows it pictures and then freezes it, and it matches the intelligence. The water like replies to her like a mirror, like once it's been frozen, replies like a mirror, showing what that consciousness is. It's like the communing with water. So, you know, speaking to your water, I mean, you know, do it as much as you can. I often forget to do this, but really setting the intention of putting love into the water before you drink it, so that you are drinking love and you are drinking love consciousness. Or so there's so many beautiful ways to work with water and the intelligence of water. So it's like an imprint of conscious awareness in you. And it supports your greatness and your flow when you are in the flow, flowing inside and outside. So learning how to flow with your divine flow starts to show you who you truly are, where to heal, and where to create, where to make adjustments in your life, and how to open up more to who you truly are. And sometimes it can be scary because, you know, we're waking up, like humanity's waking up at the moment, and any resistance to change into this divine state of being is really like supporting the old way. Like, you know, how much are you defending those parts of your life that were built on perhaps, you know, wounded child parts of you, or you're like, oh, this is just how it is now and whatever, you know. Well, actually, no, it doesn't have to just be like that. There's always a way. There's always a way to get back into the divine flow. So I hope that this podcast is inspiring you just to open up and sense and feel into that. Somebody told me recently that that I speak to the soul. I speak through the heart, from the soul to you, another soul. because we were talking about, I was like, oh, I have so much resistance to giving people bullet points in how to do things. I just can't do it, because I'm all about the flow. I'm all about consciousness, expanded consciousness, and following that flow. So when they said that to me, it was actually my partner. He was like, oh yeah, I get it now. I get why people don't understand you. It's because you're speaking to their soul. And I was like, yeah, whoa, I get that. Like, thank you. That really gives me recognition. So I'm gonna not give you any bullet points to how to do this journey, but just in the fact that you can know that I'm speaking to your soul right now. Like, I am in the flow. I'm in the divine flow, and I'm speaking to your soul. So let's get in there. Yeah, so this divine flow leads you into opening up to more of who you truly are. And this is why, creation, again, leads you, well, it can lead you out of the insanity of the everyday world and lead you into the sanity and sanctity of magical living, of true living, true life, true connection to all and one that is. This is how important it is, and this is how, stop going against the flow. Stop trying to maintain the status quo or an old way that worked before. It's not going to work. It is not going to work. There's going to be a lot more change. Learn how to tap into that infinite source of intelligence right now, and it's really going to help you. So, and the other thing as well is that when we're in the divine flow, it's really, we're moving into wisdom. We're moving out of knowledge and knowing. It's like, oh yeah, divine flow. Yeah, I know that. I know how to be in the flow. And so there's this kind of knowing, flow state. I know that. And hopefully you can feel that resonance that I've just shifted into, trying to give this other kind of, I know how to do that. But when you go deeper and you embody the essence of flow and divine flow itself, you don't need to know how to do it, you become it. And therefore it's embodied, and therefore it becomes wisdom. So when it comes out of you and it moves you into expression of your life, relationships, job, however, whatever it is you're doing, all of its creation, you are then moving into wisdom, and that wisdom comes through you, and it's like expressions of love all the time in everything you create. That's why it's taken me quite a while to do these podcasts, because I'm not just going to knock them out. This is a full embodied experience. So how are you doing on your full embodied life experience? Yeah. So live and breathe it, become it, flow with it. No longer hold yourself back. You have changed. Every day you change. And now you have to flow with that new you that is asking you, calling you from deep inside, saying, hey, let's flow again today. And become a way shower of divine inspiration. By you living yourself as the art of your own creation, you become inspirational and you inspire others just naturally from that source of your own intelligence. Living the art of your own innate intelligence. So that's what this piece of music was about. And I invited my partner Alistair into this piece of music when the first time I went into the woods with him and we did a powerful ceremony in the woodland. We came across a river and I put my hands into the water, and it was like a prayer. I put my fingers into the water like it says in the story, in the river story, and I felt the flow. And then I had to overcome fear of reciting it. I'd only just met this man a few days before, and I recited the poem, and then I let that guidance, that inner intuition, decide where we were going to go and show and lead the way into the forest, into our ceremonial journey that day. And it was so beautiful because it was like this prayer into the flow of love. And that was the first profound experience that I had with Alistair, who is now my partner. And yeah, this poem in a way is a bit like a love poem. It's like also calling out to the universe to be so much in the flow that you can meet your divine counterpart, that you can meet the love of your life. Calling out for those dreams. It's another way of manifesting into the water, into the dreams, and allowing the flow to take its place so that you can fully manifest greatness. Infuse your fingertips into the waters clear. I have a story to tell you. Please come near. I leant in closer, and the water enveloped my skin, and in an instant I could hear the story told within. Now let's flow a little bit further into how to create this energy and how that looks like in everyday life. And I'm going to give an example of this that I have lived with for the last 13 years, and this is the Soul Prophecy Oracle. I'm going to read you the story of the divine flow that led me to creating this oracle deck, the Soul Prophecy Oracle, a divine flow journey that took me 13 years, and I'm only just finishing it now. So you can find the link to read this story of the Soul Prophecy Oracle on the Soul Prophecy page on my website from the sacredjourney.com. And I hope that this story brings you inspiration to find the value of you and your gifts and your life experience, and how to translate all of that into decoding and mapping your own intelligent journey of your own genius. Like, that's essentially like what this oracle is about. And it's a vessel, it's a container for that to flow through you. Yeah, the Kickstarter for it was successful, which is great. And in February 2025, where we are now, you can still support the Kickstarter because it was successful. It's open until mid-March. And this is where you can pre-order your copies at the moment. But all of the updates, whether you're listening to this later, all of the updates will be on my website, where you can order your Soul Prophecy Oracle and start working with your genius immediately. For me, this life work is so important to remain 100% in integrity with the energy that it holds, because it's a real oracle. I mean, I say in a rather, I don't know, I always say, like, it's not just a bunch of pretty pictures. Like, this is a sacred artifact. It's a masterpiece of a lifetime. So it's really important for me to remain in integrity with how this is put out into the world. So I'm self-publishing it, and I'm seeing how it happens and unfolds and how that works for now. But you'll always be able to get a copy from my website, thesacredjourney.com. So yeah, let's get on with it. I really hope that this supports the inspiration of your flow, and that you can feel inspired by this one woman's journey. Hold on until the end. Keep listening, because I'm going to be sharing with you as well how to take your journey a little bit further. Sit back and enjoy, for this is a story of a lifetime. It is story time. The story of the Soul Prophecy Oracle. One woman's sacred journey mirrored in the eyes of every woman and man. This is the oracle that trailblazes a new path to the next level of soul embodiment. A magical 13-year journey of embodying the wisdom of the oracle is here, translated into images, portraits, and codings for you to take your own sacred journey. The Soul Prophecy Oracle is a sovereign journey. It is a chalice. It is a vessel leading you to understanding your own soul prophecy and the genius flow that is you living your life. So, this is my story. This is my profound journey, inside and out, of overcoming all the odds to create the Soul Prophecy Oracle deck. A journey of art, carving a new path to live one's soul prophecy in this lifetime. The Soul Prophecy Oracle was created by taking the journey to know what love truly is. It began with my love for art, creation, and never letting that magic of being creative go, no matter what happened. For I have come to learn it is the most potent superpower. And now is the time for me to share this 13-year journey with you. This journey led me from depression into curiosity, then through the portals of despair and betrayal and death, into a life full of healing, bringing joy, friendship, success, passion, and true love. I created and lived my own true life fairy tale through the Soul Prophecy Oracle. And by this, the essence of the Oracle has shown me how magical life can be when you follow the path of pure source guidance and higher self-wisdom all the way. I share this magic with you so you can create your own journey of love, because love heals all wounds. This story is about love and unity consciousness. It is about growth and healing separation inside and out, the relationship with ourselves and others, so love can be lived in this life. Because love can heal anything if given a chance. And I was willing to take the journey to find out if that was true. I went through not one, but 2 failed marriages. The pain and betrayal my heart endured was unimaginable to me. But throughout it all, I managed to keep my heart open. Through the cracks of my wounded heart, I began to work with the light that was inside of me, and it guided me so profoundly I could hardly believe the story that was unfolding in my life. Through the heart, I could feel it all and express that wisdom, the pain and the love, all of it through art. This is the art in the Soul Prophecy Oracle. It is the art that holds the coding for the healing needed to willingly take the journey of love. Now, let's go back to the year 2012. Well, I believe that this journey goes back further than 2012, but it was around this time that significant changes started happening from the inside out. For example, I felt called to go to Stonehenge, and when I went with my mother at winter solstice, it was the time before the hordes of people now gather. It was stunning. Then other things like my yoga classes transporting me to other inexplicable inner realms. And this started me on a journey to come out of my atheist programming and discover spirituality had nothing to do with religion. And that was happening in me and through me on my own, without knowing a thing. And most importantly, I followed the voice that awoke inside of me one day when I was lying in bed depressed and I was staring at the ceiling. It said, "If you were to die today, what would you regret not doing?" I waited and observed another voice in me answer that very question. It replied, "I would express myself my way and make my art my way." This was the scent on the path where the 2012 Oracle journey began. and the great art purge commenced, which led to being accepted into multiple arts events, programs, residencies, and my greatest art exhibition, where my life and soul magic were expressed throughout the gallery and in multidisciplinary art forms like illustration, poetry, songs, installation, sculpture, textiles, live art, performance, and collaborations. It was epic. The recent divorce from an abusive marriage in France, where all my dreams had come crashing down, was now fueling my radical awakening and transformation. Here, 5 years later, I created this exhibition of pure expression, purging and exploding my soul journey through the magical portal of art. At this time, I did not know the depths at which I was working, but that all became clear later. My work was becoming a great soul exposure, asking me to put myself on the page and into the art, showing all the different expressions of my life, the abuse, the grief, the betrayal, love, passion, and beauty. Art, life. And my art was beautiful, the beautiful expression of inner pain, but my work had no colour. All I could do was black and white. So it became all about the lines, dots and marks, like breadcrumbs leading me back home to my soul. At the last big opening event, I stood and watched the scenes of people pouring in to admire my work, and a fire lit inside me, an epiphany of what my work had truly become. It showed me how to heal through taking a journey, and I wanted to know how to use that magic to help others heal from traumatic events. Now in the Oracle deck you can see the card 0, which is a bonus card. It's the sacred clown, and also the card number 1, which is the memory keeper in the Oracle deck. And these are 2 pieces from my original black and white exhibitions. The wisdom of these art pieces is the beginning of this sacred journey. To heal the hidden, sometimes considered unhealable wounds of the heart. This is where it all begins, in expression. Through this passionate fire of my heart, I made a wish to the universe. Please show me how I can use this gift of art to help heal others, express themselves and heal so they do not have to get stuck in pain. I knew this wasn't about I knew this wasn't about me teaching or art or performance or writing, becoming a singing teacher. It was about something else. It was about energy, life force, and passion. But where would I begin? I didn't take this soul journey to be alone. I took it to be in love. And that's where the wish took me. But in order for me to meet love, I had to let go of what no longer served love. And how was I going to do this? I was guided to explore creative energy, life force, sexual energy. And I did this in multiple ways over this 13-year journey, including multiple shamanic initiations, becoming a priestess of sacred sexuality, and going on a wild 6-year journey of learning directly from the plant world with plant medicine journeys and indigenous shamans from several different continents. Once my priestess training was completed in Glastonbury, the heart of Mother Earth, I was inspired to go on a pilgrimage to understand the next parts of my artistic soul journey, anchor the vibration of the priestess within, and open up the essence of self-sovereignty and leadership that had awoken in me. So in 2015, I walked the Camino for 40 days from Lisbon, Portugal, up to the end of the world at Finisterre in Spain. This pilgrimage was also an art quest. I sold 40 blank pages of my sketchbook before leaving, and took the spirits of 40-page pilgrims along with me, along with my paper and pencils. Every day I drew an illustration and channeled messages which were later sent to the people who had bought the pages. It was epic. It's hard enough to walk for 40 days, but to draw and write every day was quite a devotion. Along the journey I received downloads of visions and songs that deepened my embodiment of the archetypes I had worked with during the priestess training, and I later drew my version of the goddess wheel through the essences and coding of the sacred sexuality, and how the seasonal changes help evolve this sacred life force energy. This was the beginning of my deep embodiment journey of archetypal energies, cyclical living, and womb wisdom work. It was life-changing. These illustrations became my first book, I Am Divine, a creative journey course for women to connect to the power of the life force energy through their own body wisdom. Versions of these illustrations are now part of the Soul Prophecy Oracle too, and you can see these from cards 2 to 12 in that part of the journey. My art and my journey was starting to come alive. The wish I made in the gallery was making itself known to me, and my life was becoming art as it showed me the next direction to take in my life. After this period, I met a man. I moved to Portugal and then to Holland, and later got married for a second time. I left my thriving art career, contacts and prospects, all for the promise of love. It became increasingly difficult to create, and later became clear to me why this was happening. Whilst in Holland, I reduced my art expression to pen and paper and turned more and more inward, guided by the depths of my inner world, which unknowingly led me to the most transformational path I could have never wished for. I had no idea it existed at that point. So, I was now on a whole new inner journey. Holland was bringing me many gifts of deep inner work through friendships, sister circles, festivals, women's work, deep ceremonies with indigenous tribes and plant medicines. It was wild. And during this time, around 2018 to 2020, my second marriage was becoming increasingly strained, toxic and abusive. But I was blinded by the illusion of fake love, and my creative source was difficult to keep alive. I finished writing my first novel based on the first part of my art life journey, and I still intend to get it published as soon as I can. But as I was writing it, the spirit of the pen was asking me to draw myself onto the page again, so I started drawing again. I drew myself back into my work like I had done before when this journey had begun in 2012. So in 2019, I printed a photo of me onto a page, and you can see this. This is card 13, the sarcophagus initiation. And it was like I had done this years before, like in the memory keeper on card 1. When I drew this card, I died. I had been neglecting my art due to the emotional turmoil of my relationship that was sucking me dry. And there was a strong voice in me saying, "Get on the page." I made sure I was alone in the house. I printed myself onto the page. I lit a candle and I opened ceremonial space for myself with sacred cacao and invoking my soul wisdom. I laid my hands on the page, covering the image of my face. I closed my eyes and I began to see again. I did not know what would happen. I followed my inner visions and slowly began illustrating the lines. As I was drawing, I was reading the lines, dots and marks, following the imagery and the coding that was coming through. I drew exactly what I was being told and shown to draw. It was my death. I began to feel like I was drawing the prophecy of my death. I was drawing and crying, stunned into fear and mourning myself at the same time, surrendering into the sarcophagus. I thought I would actually die, and I was afraid to finish the picture through fear of invoking my own death. I was indeed illustrating my own death, the path to deep surrender and ego death. When I realised I wasn't actually going to die that day, I finished the illustration and laid it down with my pen. I could feel the call to be in service with my art and draw other women. The difference this time was that red wanted to come in, the blood of my ancestors, my sacred lineage as a woman. I could now make art in black and white and add red. I saw the vision of the next woman who I could draw. I called her immediately and she said yes to having her soul portrait with me. And this started the series of life, death, and rebirth. And these are the cards 13 to 36 in the Oracle. Each time I finished working with one woman, I got the vision of the next woman to draw. This started escalating, and women were now asking me to be part of the Oracle. And so I opened up commissions, and my abilities for soul reading through my art exponentially amplified as I received channeled messages for each woman through the art. At this point, I had no idea they would all be part of an oracle deck. I was just doing a journey, but it soon started showing me that this is what it wanted to be. The energy involved in illustrating these women was so intense, I could only draw with black ink on white paper and later add the red. I illustrated over 25 women whose souls showed me many facets of the deep feminine wisdom through the energies of the triple goddess of life, death, and rebirth. It was real and happening. Through illustrating each woman, deep lessons of embodiment were showing up in my life, showing me how each card was taking me on a deep soul journey and offering them reflections and guidance from their own soul expression. It was a stunning process that was starting to unfold. Now I drew in private, as every time I would draw, there would be an argument in my relationship. Big things were stirring inside and outside. I didn't know at that point why there was such a struggle in my relationship when all this deep wisdom was flowing through me. The women inspired me to keep drawing. It was all beyond me. The spirit of the oracle was now in me and guiding me to keep going, to keep making my art in service for the greater service of good for others. Then, at the end of summer 2020, I was illustrating a woman whose work involves ceremonial processes of life and death. See the cards 35 and 36, the life guardian and the death guardian. She is a death and life doula and wisdom keeper. It was a profound card to illustrate onto the page, perhaps more than I had bargained for, because at the exact moment that I was illustrating her portrait, my now ex-husband walked in and ended our marriage. In that very moment, I had a profound realization of what love and separation truly were. Because I was in a ceremonial, visionary art process, my senses were amplified and I could see his energy as he was talking to me. There was a split. I could see love and I could also see fear. Through the insanity of it all, there was a choice between life and death. right in that very moment, a choice of love and unity or fear and separation, which changed my life completely, because that was the end of my old life. That was the death. I chose love and unity, and everything else fell away. Through this deep betrayal of my heart, I found myself with nothing, living in a caravan on a farm with just my savings and a broken heart. I went into a deep transformational change, which some people might call a nervous breakdown. And this was now also the end of my illustrations. I see it now as the most wild and radical portal of transformation that sledgehammered all my illusions of love. I got what I had asked for. The universe was showing me what love was and was not. Because all of my years of training in women's work and sacred plant medicine ceremonies and leadership trainings up until that point, I now knew this was my moment of glory. The end of my relationship meant now that it was time to do the real work I had been searching for. If I was going to get the healing I knew possible, it meant staying put and enduring everything as it moved through me. I was in the ringer. I was in the ring. The bell was ringing and I was being called out. It was now only me and my ego, and we would dance the most glorious battle of life and death that would help me finally dissolve in that sarcophagus and become new. This was the initiation. This was the death I had prophesied. And the world was going into lockdown. But I was breaking free. I was breaking down, yes, but I was also breaking through at the same time. And my awareness was skyrocketing and showing me what was happening in every moment. I began to realize I was being born every morning and dying every evening, and my 4-hour sleeps were bringing prophetic visions of past lives and ancient civilizations that were applicable for this lifetime. I was shown how it was all playing out. I was given the ancient and the new codings for divine union, and this big evolutionary time of humanity was right now. This is card 37 in the Oracle deck. The daily life and death cycles were accelerating my evolution and the embodiment of all the archetypal wisdom I had been illustrating. It was now all guiding me. My art was all I had left. But I would not pick up another pen until I was sure I could draw the truth. It was hell. It was wild. It was incredible. I held my own with a few friends who were like guardian angels for me. This went on intensively for 3 months straight, as my old life all fell away and I lost it all. I lost all sense of security as the illusion of love dropped and I saw the reality of what the situation was that I was in. Raw, open, heart-bleeding love was cracking me open, summoning me out of the shell of abusive relating. I decided to play. Everything was now speaking to me, the art, the stones, the flowers, the trees, the elements, and goodness knows how many spirits was all channeling through me. What I had once shunned due to my atheist doubt programs was now here. It felt like the whole universe was in me, with me, guiding me every single day. I felt fully activated, with my rose-tinted glasses now blasted to smithereens. I could sniff the infested scent of the salesman lies, and I was not buying any more of their second-hand products. Then a woman contacted me and asked me if she could be the next portrait. My ego wanted to say no, but my heart said yes. This was the end of the Triple Goddess teachings and the beginning of something new. At first I drew her in pen, but I was drawing her. I saw all the colours that wanted to be in it. So when I edited it, I added colour. I started with red, and then blue, and then green, and then all the colours came flooding in, and it asked me to finally remove all of the black pen from the portrait, so I did. In a way, this woman helped me save a part of me, the part of me that wanted to give up my art, and therefore life, but her soul portrait showed me it was time to rise and become unstoppable. And this medicine is for us all, and this is card 38. She who rises unstoppable. Then another woman stepped in, and then another, and then men came forward, and before I knew it, the prophecy of the divine union was showing up, and the trinity of the feminine and the trinity of the masculine, creating new coding to break free from all the past and create new pathways. All of this is in cards 38 to 43. The magic of the art and the soul prophecy was weaving a new reality and asking me to keep putting it on the page. At the same time, these beautiful souls were stepping in and being part of the oracle. My personal life was still evolving beyond my wildest dreams. Destruction and creation happening simultaneously, and the wisdom of divine union coming in thick and fast, asking me to trust the process. There were times I woke up in the middle of the night in winter storms feeling like I was on a ship, the cabin swaying me from side to side as if I were on rough seas. I was set sail on a new voyage. I felt seasick and I stumbled to my knees. I sobbed through what seemed like endless grief. I grieved the whole ocean. I was sailing in the dark. I was not grieving the surface level of the marriage ending. I was grieving what felt like lifetimes of separation and betrayal, in and outside of me, through ancient civilizations, karmic contracts, the essence of the sacred feminine and masculine working together for great healing, the right to be here and now. I was shown it was not meant to be done alone. I was being shown divine union, and yet my human life was stripping it all away. This felt so ironic. Trying to be logical about it made me feel delirious, and on my knees I shouted to the universe, "Show me what I need to know. I give you my all." I was again shown the choice of everything, life or death, love or fear. I was shown my true purpose in this lifetime is divine union. And I screamed in a rage, "How can you expect me to love again after such betrayal?" My heart was raw and cracked open, and my visions were deeper and more powerful than had ever been. And again, I was shown the consequences of what would happen if I chose to be a bitter single woman. What would happen if I embodied the distorted version of the wise woman crone in this time of deep transformation? The choice was clear. Fear led to my death, and love led me to the divine purpose in partnership with a man. I was furious and delirious with rage at the choice that presented before me, after such deep betrayal from men who had told me they had loved me. I was shown the difference between the black lion essence that is cultivated in patriarchy, and I was shown essence of pure masculine and the sacred lion heart. So I shouted at the top of my voice through the hurricane surrounding my cabin, "You want me to love? Then bring me a true lion-hearted man!" I would give up my art and all the work with the feminine if I was not able to take this journey further, because I saw the truth and I was not willing to be fake. I would not profess love if I was not able to live it. So I had to surrender more deeply. On the 13th of December 2020, 4 years before the launch of my Kickstarter, which now funds the Oracle to be published, my landlord knocked on my door and introduced me to his friend, a man named Alistair, who had come over from England to visit. And we all sat that evening for dinner, and he told me he had a special gift, a gift as a spirit animal specialist. And his heart totem was the lion. I couldn't believe it. I remained silent, observing, challenging my mind. He stayed for 3 weeks, and it was his wish to sit in ceremony with me as I was guiding it. So a number of us sat in a private medicine ceremony together on the winter solstice of 2020. And in that ceremony, the Mayan prophecy came true, and we broke open the energy of the new age of divine union. Who is this man? I kept asking myself. After our first ceremony, he started knocking on my door and said to me, "I have the strangest feeling that I have to stick to you like glue." Again, I asked, "Who is this man?" I gave him no words. At first I made myself busy, but he was so kind-hearted, I could not deny his friendship. And so over the days, he sat and listened to my story when no other person would. He listened to my advice and he took it. Who is this man? He stayed for just over 2 weeks, and in that time we sat in several ceremonies together. And in that short time we became good friends. We spent New Year's Eve together, and he said to me, "This is a dream come true. I always wanted to spend New Year's Eve with someone just like me." Again, I asked the universe, who is this man? The day after he arrived back in London, we began to video call each other. We spoke every day for at least 8 hours, all through lockdown, and we decided to begin a ceremonial medicine journey between 2 different countries and an ocean between us. I summoned in all the lessons I had learned from all the experiences and was determined to truly heal my heart, body and soul. I started taking my own course, I Am Divine, and embarked on the radical healing journey of this new friend, with this new friend. We purified ourselves through exposure, sharing, acknowledgement, and sitting in ceremony together over video. It was crazy. It was crazy, wild fun. And we connected for 1,000 days straight, every day since. Everything in my soul prophecy oracle journey was showing me this divine union. Yet this man had no idea. He believed that we were just friends. But secretly I knew otherwise, because the oracle was showing me the way. In getting to know my new best friend, I introduced him to the power of art and the power of the soul prophecy oracle. I was given the next vision of the next card, and it took me completely by surprise. It was the Jokers. These are 2 of the bonus cards. And I needed a man, so I asked him, and he said he would be honoured. I told him he was brave, but he dove in anyway. The message was clear from the Jokers. It was, do the work. And it took us 4 years to heal these archetypal distortions in us and how our toxic behaviour drives separation between man and woman. The Jokers showed us each time more and more how this works. They were, and they are, powerful shadow work cards, and you can choose to work with them in the Oracle if you wish. After the Joker cards, Alistair, my best friend, and I journeyed deep with medicine ceremonies to further continue our deep purification and healing work. He came from a background of deep patriarchal, toxic behaviour, mental disorders, and a life of traumatic violence. He taught me about narcissistic abuse, and he was healing this in him. And I leaned in to get all of the information I could, so I too could heal from the 2 narcissistic abusive marriages that I had been through. I came from a background of untethered, artistic creativity filled with emotional abuse and instability, under constant threat of losing my life, my gifts, my art and my soul. It was love that saved me, and this journey showed me how deep love truly was in divine union with my mirror opposite. We journeyed into Akashic DNA, unlocked things in each other that we couldn't have dreamt in a million years, and in doing so we began to remember who we truly were together. Due to all the work I was doing in tandem with my new best friend, I did not illustrate the next card until autumn 2021. It was a special card, Sacred Union. I was the dragon heart and he was the lion heart. He was denying his love for me and me for him too. I consulted spirit in my plant medicine ceremonies and I was shown my king frozen in ice. I looked inside and I saw Alistair. I asked how I could free him, and spirit told me I could not tell him because he has to choose for love himself. That autumn, he came over for the autumn equinox and we sat in ceremony. I asked him to place his heart onto mine. He was reluctant, but he did. And it opened his heart to a new, whole world of possibilities. It opened him to see and understand that there was more to his ego, that there was more than what his ego was showing his heart. But afterwards, we all still denied our love for each other. It took me to the brink of giving up, and several weeks after I drew the Sacred Union card, we were in eclipse season, and it was a powerful lunar eclipse, and we were in ceremony, and he video called me. I was truly on the brink of giving it all up, all of the art, all of the teachings, all the work with women, all the Sacred Union work. And at the very last moment he spoke to me these words: Hazel, I have been lying to you. I'm sorry I lied, because you are more than a friend to me, and I do love you. A rush of blood, energy, light, and love filled my body and soul, and he sang to me a love song. Several months later, he came to see me for the winter solstice, and that was when I created card 48, the Prophecy Walkers, twin flames with a joint purpose, who rise together in love. It was not until 2022 that the Soul Prophecy Oracle began to show me a new journey was ready to take place. The chakras. At first, I only knew there was only 7 chakras, but my friend Marianne, who is also in the Oracle deck, incredible medicine woman, she's the sacral chakra card, she told me that there was 17 chakras. I was blown away. And so I began with the Earth Star chakra, and together with my now new partner, and still best friend, we began to reconnect our true earthly purpose for this lifetime, and all with the knowledge of embodying this journey, and everything changed forever. Each chakra was more than a chakra. It was a journey unlocking coding, colours and more, and each piece of art was a sacred quest as a new woman and man stepped in to complete the final series and share this profound wisdom and teaching this journey for you to enjoy. So this oracle has destroyed me and recreated me. I'm always learning, ever growing, a journey of ages, an oracle deck like no other, the new journey of journeys, the soul prophecy journey of becoming a divine sovereign being in divine union with your twin flame counterpart. How does it get any better than that? To be able to share it with so many who have stepped in to have their soul portraits as part of the oracle, as well as leading me to the special someone in my life where I can now live love, to love and be loved by that person, is what made all of this possible to complete this oracle. And I truly wish you to find your joy and your love through your own soul prophecy journey as I share this wisdom with you and the world. This oracle is alive. Now, tell me, what is your story? Because your story matters. Your life is your masterpiece. And it is my greatest wish that this oracle brings you so many gifts of love, wisdom, and revelations to guide you on your masterful journey of life and love. So this is the end of this podcast today. Let's finish with a few reflections on the divine flow as you have flowed with me through this journey in a window opening into the wisdom of the oracle. So let's reflect. Channel your wisdom and intelligence. Bring it out of you. Put it into all that you create. Write, dance, art. Sing your way into the creation of the new you. Take this journey into your divine flow. Flow downstream. Relax into it. Do not force. Open it. Unplug, undam, unlock, uncensor your divine intelligence and let it guide you. Trust your intuition. Trust what you create is like a map to your soul that is guiding you. It is healing and cleansing, letting it all go and letting it flow through you, letting the water consciousness that is in you flow through you. So, detach, become the flow, and allow the creation to guide you. Thank you for joining me today on this podcast, and if you wish to get your copy of the Soul Prophecy Oracle, you can through in the links that I leave below. You can also enjoy Soul Prophecy Portrait Experience with me, where I take you personally on a journey to receive your own Soul Prophecy portrait, which is in itself a map and a guidance for you and your soul journey. There's also Oracle Mastery sessions with me, because this Oracle is not like every ordinary Oracle. For those who want to choose to journey deeper with it, I am going to be offering mastery sessions, at least to get this Oracle started. So get on in there whilst I'm still doing those. So yeah, this Oracle is a vessel, it is a creation, it is a chalice. And you can always join me as well on my CHALICE program, which is a 6-month mastery program of becoming that clear vessel so your intelligence can flow through you. So you can also check that out on my website. I will leave all of the links below. So enjoy your divine flow. You are magnificent. And always remember to keep following your flow. I'll keep you and your gifts safe afloat as we go. But always remember to keep following your flow. I hope you've enjoyed this podcast today. May you live your magnificence today and beyond. Lots of love, and see you soon for another episode of She Lives.